So I'm selling it later.
Sasa mtenge ndio hoje.
Lakini ilikuwa sawa.
Kama ni ongea
Sawa.
Yeah, so today we are recording a video. We are 10 years old in Kenya. Yeah, but for some of us, we are 4 years old in Kings Aloud, others are 5. Yes,
Ndio mzee.
Yeah, so we're just here to record about tough ski influence upon our lives, the journey and the experience we've had since we joined, and also make you understand that some of the things you don't know about Kings Aloud because maybe you not interacted so closely with some people. Yeah, enjoy.
We start with this. The person I'm introducing is the person next to me. His name is Vincent Owino Odawa. Yeah, so boy from Miranda.
Hiyo sasa iseme na confidence. Like sema kama unajua unasema.
Hebu ngia watu wa Miranda kijana lazima haya sawa. So yeah, boy from Miranda, all the way from Western now in Nairobi. Now in Nairobi, Vincent Owino, guys.
Yeah, so quite afraid. Yeah, so I am introducing one light-skinned guy. Wow. Most of you have seen him either from my status, pale Madros. Patana, ulimuona kidogo tu handbag. And some have met his name with wise sayings.
I got no buy of soap, but Jesus in me washes away my sins.
Yeah, so ina depend unapatana na yeye lini. Hope today tunapatana na the wise. Mr. Collins Murithi.
How is what I am?
Yo, so for me, I'm introducing a guy. I'm introducing all the other guys.
You're introducing the guy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm introducing Mark Makasi. Yeah, Mark, very well-spoken guy. But we tried tracing the roots, man. We are sure it's yeah, natural intelligence.
Wow.
Mark Makasi, as I was saying, the guy is intelligent. Yeah. And hapo kwa Jabez quarters bana.
Wisdom ilitokea hapo, we are sure. Yeah, so I know we're gonna know more about Mark from himself. Lakini we'll be clarifying hata danganya. Yeah.
We are to verify.
Okay.
That's
Yeah. So this guy,
Banter by that.
yeah, Banter Badai. Yeah, but I'm here to introduce this guy. I'm sure also you've seen me comment on my status, on my
Your enemy.
my enemy, as people say. Yeah, this guy who, with my wisdom, stole my ideas and sasa anaandika kitabu yeah, my ideas.
Ajeka copyright.
No inquiry.
Patent infringement.
Najisikia tu.
Direct tu. Bros making money from it.
Yeah, one of the most, notable names in town, one of the most famous names in town. People who you know before you actually know who Diaz is. And I'm here to introduce this wonderful leader, this wonderful author, this wonderful person. Yeah. But unfortunately, the people didn't make it, so I'm here to the people who live in Ghana, so unfortunately now standing in the place is bridging the gap for him. Yes.
Wow. Okay, so let's start smaller. When did you join TAF? Let's start with Mark. So I think I joined TAF in 2022. My first, I didn't know if that was a TAF event, but it was it was Hilda's birthday. Watu walikuwa then end up kidnapiwa but lo and behold they were kidnapping me for Christ man. Nice. Vincent?
Yeah, so for me, I joined TAF in 2021 in a very crazy way. One of Diaz's classmates came to KU and my friend was sharing a room with the friend. So I was going there. Yeah, I was going there. Then I met this guy. Then on Sundays, naona post kwa day kwa tusiji shangaa bana. Ni Sunday nilikuwa umoja bana. Nimeenda kutembea huko. Yeah, then I told him I'll come one of the events. Then I go to Aloud fellowship, and since then we
As colleagues.
Yeah, for me, I joined TAF also in a crazy way back in 2021 September. In my 1.1, the story is coming soon. So.
Okay, nice. Diaz.
I think kwa hii team ndio old guy.
Bro joined in 2015.
Achana na story zao. I joined TAF 2020, hiyo period ya COVID. I was also
SOS ilikuwa kweli.
As I was invited by still the same guy again. Yeah, so actually, how did TAF get Maranda? Because by then ilikuwa mostly alliance. Then Madaga had walikuwa wameshare intersuite. And then beshte yake from alliance akainvite, and then akainvite again akainvite.
So, what positions do you currently held when you went up or in up? Yeah, so Diaz.
Yeah, so for me, it started back in the high school days when we were young. Nilikuwa kijana sasa ni mzee. Yeah, I served as the Facebook rep, the now at 1 million. And then in the graduate stage, that was high school stage. Graduate stage, I also served as a Facebook rep out of 1. And then I started as True Club Fellowship president. Yeah, and then new print director. Yeah.
Wow. Vincent?
Yeah, for me, I started at Aloud fellowship. One day, this when he just grabs me after fellowship. Then he's like, Vincent, what do you think you can do in Aloud fellowship? telling, I've been dancing a lot. Yeah, dancing.
That's stereotype.
Yeah, dancing of the day is not the kind of
When we
dancing.
were all dancers, it's
Yeah.
like developing.
Yeah, then she says, okay. And I was then Regan was the director. Yeah, but she was the one also organizing the fellowship. So he said, okay, you'll be assisting. So kijana alikuwa hapo assistant, but something that doesn't exist. Yeah, then that's how I went for the 2022 executive retreat, carrying a post that doesn't exist. Yeah, then there Collins deputy was leading the country, so there was a vacancy vice president. Then I became vice president. Yeah, Taylor fellowship. Then 6 months later, CD comes to Kenya. 4 months later, CD comes to Kenya. He says, "You want a director?" Then I became a global admission director. Then 1 year later, CD leaves Kenya. He tells me on the 8th January last year, he said, "I'm leaving Kenya. We are heading for camp." Tells me you're gonna be the acting director. I'm like, okay, that's crazy. I will move. So 6 months after that, CD comes back. He makes me deputy kind director. Yeah, so that's been the journey.
Wow. So for me, I started off with the creative speech. I was the vice president.
As secret director.
Oh no, you are still a president. Hiyo ndio mafanikio na kama naingia tu club fellowship hapo, natokea hapo just kuja na post quiz straight kwa status. Yeah, I started out as a vice president serving under Michael Awimbo, who was the president that time. Then came to KCA, served as a vice president under Ruth Kalai, who was the president of KCA Law Fellowship. Then I think after that, 6 months later, also it wasn't actually 6. It was about 3 for me. It was 3 months later. I was made the president. Then after that, 2 years later, 2 years later, I was now made regional line director for Nairobi. Collins.
Yeah, so for me, as I say that I joined staff in 1.1, September 2021. After 3 or 4 months, there was the missionaries who had come to Kenya were looking for executives. So they were trying to call, like, if you want to become an executive, you stand up and go to the front. So me at that time I was just sitting because I'm still new, what. Yeah. Then one of them actually told me like, "Hey, Collins, are you sure you don't want to become one of them?" Because of that, alright, they noticed me.
Bro was aura coming up.
Just there. So because of that, I was actually the last person to start and go, and they cut the.
They were waiting for you.
Yeah, they were waiting for me. They closed everything. Then after 1 week, I remember I was actually thinking, like there was a list of executives. President, secretary, Aloud, like all. So people are supposed to fill their name where they feel like they can serve.
Yeah.
So me, I was like, honestly, in my mind, I was like, okay, let people feel. Then the ones which will remain, preferably can be rest. Like occasional posts, like maybe after 3 months is when you're called upon to. So that was the psychology in my head. Then CD Wendy, was like, "Hey Collins, have you chosen yet?" I'm like, "No, Wendy, but if I'm totally honest, I'm just waiting for people to fill up. Then I'll fill the remaining." And then she was like, "No, me, I want you to be president of the Youth Fellowship." Hey, I'm like, "Hey, that's crazy." Hey, president, and I'm only 3 or 4 months in a fellowship where people have been here since high school. I just came by chance, by coincidence. So my first role was back in DEC 2021. I became president. Yeah. But somebody somewhere sees me as a role model. Yeah, that was my acceptance speech. I was really happy. Then after 1.5 years, I became the deputy to Hilda Gitonga. That's the deputy, the fellowship director. Then after a few months, I became now Nairobi regional director.
Nice. Now answer with a yes or no.
Bro, what's the question?
The question is, were you ready to serve as a leader when you became a leader?
So the first one, high school executive rep, I was ready. That one like, because Miss Wendy was like, oh, you'll just be designing those posters. Which was like actually not designing posters, it was just editing templates. I was like, that one I can do. President, no. We actually fought with, okay, not fought, but then I really hated taking positions, but I loved doing the work. So I was like, Miss Wendy, I'm not taking the president position. And then Miss Wendy was like, you just figure out with Frank will be there. President will be there. And then I was doing everything that a president does, but I'm not accepting the position. And then after like I think a month in, she was like, you've been doing the work, nothing is changing, just take the position. I was like, okay, cool, let's try it out. Director, I think I was ready for the director because I had now served for some time.
Yeah, for me, okay, I leave that creative lesson. I think for vice president, I think I was ready. I had that moment, let me. Actually, we were given a choice. I was given a choice. I was supposed to like Siam, Facebook, and vice president. And I picked vice president. Yeah, I picked vice president. Then that one I was ready. Then coming for director, after Sasa, I told CD, I don't think I want to do this. Yeah, I came to Love Center. CD told me, okay, now, actually I was to be allowed to direct. That's where I was.
Hey! Allowed to be
allowed to be director. So that's what then CD came and said,
When we were all dancing.
yeah, they're all dancing. He says global emission, something I didn't even know was part of staff sub-ministries, as you can see behind there. Then I was like, hey, I still be doing people passports, making sure people raise money. I'm like, oh, I don't think I want to do this. So I think it was like 1 month. There's a time we went for some Sunday Richard. Imaradaima. You were there?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah. We went to Imaradaima, then I told CD somewhere. CD, I don't think I've looked at everything. Oh, one thing by the way, I wasn't training. I loved football. And I always knew Saturdays I used to watch football. All of a sudden, Saturdays we did EMT. So I was doing those, but that's the minor, there were better others.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I will be watching football. I said, this one is crazy. Yeah, I went to see the CD. CD didn't behave like he didn't even hear me. I was like, I talked for like almost 30 minutes. Like, yeah, then his statement was like, he didn't hear everything. He just told me, you are going to be there. Okay. I think he also came to me. I had you are going to be direct. I don't have. Please don't mention it anywhere. Things can change anytime. Yeah, things can change anytime. Don't say that because I'm still rethinking my things. So for director, I was it. But for acting and director, I think God prepared me because that December holiday, I was really, I don't know why, but I was really consecrated. I didn't understand why. Yeah, I was really, something was pushing me to pray more. I didn't understand. So I think later on when that came, I was more ready. Yeah, but not because of me.
Mark. For me, leadership.
Okay.
I think for me, since high school, leadership has always just been something that has sort of been following me.
We'll just mention high school.
Yeah, let's just say high school.
So when we were given the list for choosing the current positions, there was the president and the vice president positions which were open, and I was like, okay, let me take the vice president so that in case Nikose were active, the president will be active, and it was good. So then when I even joined, even in case here they asked me which position would you like, I was like, okay, I had a good time being vice president, so I chose it again. Hey, but then the work was kind of crazy. The work over there was very much, but yeah. So now when it came to presidency, I was now very much ready for it. And also now when it came down to the I directorship, I was doing this work for it reached I think 1 year in after serving, that's when I started doing the things, the role. And I was doing it. Then lo and behold, the CD chooses another person. I'm like, oh, okay. Let me what's going on? I'm up. Yeah. So I was like, okay, let me just keep quiet. Let me just hold on. So I waited the whole year. Then I was like, hey, you know what? Bye-bye. So then he was like, okay, come now. So then now he told me this was the reason, there was that sort of, especially for the role of, I directorship, it needs someone who is spiritually active, spiritually active. Your time was like, me nacheza kandanda hapo. So but all in all, I can say, for most of the leadership roles, I feel like I've been well prepared. Yeah.
For me, the presidency, it caught me by surprise because I was like, as I say that, hey, I'm in first year, I just joined stuff 4 months in, and you want me to be president of a people who are there for the entire high school life. You get it, people who joined in high school, 2020, 29, those. And I was like, okay, I was surprised because, I was like, how did this really come up with such a decision, you get it? So, but when I took it, I was like, mentally, I was there to not disappoint Miss Wendy. That was the mindset which I had. I was like, let me not do my best.
Of the speech.
I even that day reach the induction, I even made sure people don't even know the story, but I went that night, the night before, I went and looked for all the exclusive. I went and looked for every single outfit, from the trouser to the shirt. Okay, the tie is my dad. But I looked for shoes, I looked for trousers, I looked for the shirt. Now the coat, I borrowed the coat from the father who we were invited with in Daf. It's called Bruno. And now the tie was my dad's. So I was prepared from the onset. I was like, I cannot disappoint Miss Wendy. And I think
will show you that.
I think that was my initial motivation. Even after I got it, I even posted in my status. I posted oh, thank you for this opportunity, what. And I was really proud that someone, believed in you and you wouldn't want to let them down. And that was my initial motivation. Then, afterwards, it reached a point where presidency, especially KU presidency, became too prestige. That even directorship, you don't receive as much. You get it, because back when I was president, people used to even call me Mr. President. Even in draft events, it used to be so prestige. that I saw like being a director, I will just be another director.
Not Mr. President.
Yeah, not Mr.
Yeah, this guy thought that I was the took president.
Yeah. Took president for the university. I was like, hey, you can president. Okay.
So he came to ask me, I was telling someone that I know you're president. And like Hapuzumi. And then like president. And then hey, I'm just a first year man.
Yeah, it reminded even me when I posted, because I posted the picture. Okay, before fellowship, I went to Arboretum. Those in KU can relate. I went to Arboretum, they are good photographers. And I was like, you know, you gotta photograph me.
Why don't you think
Yeah, so I went, and, you know, yeah, and that's what I posted, like, as a thank you message. And people were like, even my old schoolmates were like, hey, you're already president, you're already elected. It's in December. 4 months. Yeah. So, directorship, it's a whole new story, but honestly, no. Because first of all, I was like, I wasn't ready. First of all, I didn't want to leave a user fellowship because I think I had invested so much and I was still implementing more to get a fellowship. Like I had an idea for
giving 100%.
yeah, like I had an idea for KU and I felt like I hadn't really fully implemented it. So I wanted a bit of time to implement it before I think of directorship. And honestly, that time directorship felt like such a big, like I was looking at the likes of the Archies and the Hilders and I was like, hey, week in, week out, yeah, EMTs, you are, at that time you knew Miss Wendy would be on your neck. Yeah, now it's the faithful, but at that time, like I will see how, you know, how you're supposed to be fully accountable, and it used to scare me a lot.
Saturday nights.
Yeah, Saturday nights you spend, and that time EMT was all night, so yeah, so I was like, I was like, honestly, then there was a bit of a push, even how I became director, I didn't actually willingly came. I remember I was coming for Vincent's birthday. I was coming for Vincent's birthday, and when I entered, Sidi started telling people, "Shout director, Mr. Director." I'm like, oh no, guys, relax. I'm still president. I'm still president, right? Yeah. Then, like 1 week later, I think Hilda texts me like, "Sidi wants you to come for EMT." I'm like, what's EMT? What's EMT? I didn't even know what EMT is. And then I was told it's executive management team. And I was like, oh, so managing executives who are president, executives managing, I've been doing this my lifetime. Let me come.
I'm not a newcomer.
And I think that's how I became now the deputy fellowship director. Then I think in another separate conversation with CD, then I became regional. That one was also doing it.
Okay, nice. So, let's move on to your best and worst experience as a staff leader. Yeah, let's start with Collins.
Bombshell. I think my worst. Let me start with my worst. I think honestly everybody here knows how dealing with people is hard. Dealing with people is not easy. So I think there's a point in time where the user fellowship, yes, it was doing well, but I used to have executives who are ceremonial in a sense of like,
they accept the title, but
this title, we have an on paper this and on paper that, but honestly there's nothing going on. So there's one time I was the MC, I was the one who went for refreshments.
It's giving back.
I was the one who went for refreshments. Ken Uma was introducing me as choir. So closest to choir. So, because I did administration.
And him ministration.
You see?
Yeah,
So,
thank you for clarifying. You are the closest.
yeah, the closest to choir. Around, he scanned around and he was like,
You can manage.
The missionaries really challenge this guy. Nakumbuka during the time missionaries alikuwa, Collins used to give key ministrations to almost every
Administration.
Yeah,
Wow.
of course.
They are not recruiting.
They're not.
Testing us.
Choir, please. Hope this video finds you well. And before I do,
Hapo majioni tu hapo. Oh, East and
hey.
Maybe before the end of the evening, he can give us one.
Okay, so I guess my best and worst experience in tough. Let me start with the best was the time I was serving as president in 2024, the beginning of the year. So in 2023, Miss Wendy had given me a prophecy about the Love Fellowship, and she was like, "Yeah, Nini, I had a dream where you are leading so many people, like around 30 to 40 people. I don't know if the Love Fellowship was in Kenya or it was in Ghana." I was like, "Wow, you're for real?" I was like really, really excited, and she was like, "Yeah, it was gonna happen like that." And then so, I think eventually I just forgot about it. It was something in October or September, and I just forgot about it. And so somewhere along the line, I just started getting focused on how my Love Fellowship works. I accepted the mistakes that I made even as a president, and I worked on them. Then 2024 is when I would come to the Love Fellowship. You'd meet 10, 15 guys over there already assembled, and these are outside of the executive. We are moving from like having like 5, 10 people on a weekly basis to now 25, 30 people. Because now CD was even giving us like a targets for weekly. So he wrote over there like get at least 25 people to come for Love Fellowship. We hit it within 1 week. Then
Love Fellowship was people for the Love Center.
Back then it was Love Center, Love Fellowship. Yeah, and now then we were given like 30, and then we hit the 30. And this was just from like I really couldn't say it was more of my effort, because it was more of how God and His grace towards the Love Fellowship. Because I would just text some people and I would tell them like, you should come for Love Fellowship, and they're like, okay, yeah, I'll come for Love Fellowship, and they come with like 3 or 4 more people. It was crazy. It was like the highlight of my whole presidency. I was just so happy. Yeah, then the worst was I think still in presidency. And then also that period in between my transitioning between presidency and directorship. So that time was like so crazy. I was like, I really want to do this thing, but then I felt like the whole thing about presidency had kind of like started overwhelming me. It was kind of like pressing on me, and I didn't want to entirely let it go, but then I also wanted to now feel like, at that point I think I was the longest serving president, because I was president and Diaz was there and Collins, and then now the 3 of them have already moved up to directorship. It's been nearly 2 years and I'm still a president. I was like, hey, I think it's time I just I'd already planned on who's going to come in next and all that, so I wanted to it was really a hard time for me at that particular point, and juggling everything according even with my academics and then and all that. So I just said, okay, I think I'll just drop the presidency, then I'll focus on just doing the work for the eye, although even if it's not on an official basis, I will still do it. I can still manage that. So then it happened, and then it was like, okay, now come now let's talk things about directorship. And I was like, finally. So,
After we had a crazy conversation
with Vincent, and there was that. I think also that time, like, I feel my friendship with Vincent was also facing a lot of setbacks, because ilikuwa ni kama tuelewani because you know Vincent is my AP
and I'm also the
country director, and then we're like, I'm like, bro, whatever you're telling me doesn't seem to match what I want to do, and it's not like there was anything wrong with what I wanted to do, but it was sort of like Vincent also trying to follow protocol.
Yeah.
So it was very very tight, so we didn't really understand each other. And then afterwards, when we were like, okay, so that time was really tough for me. Yeah, but that was my best and worst. Vincent.
Wow, I didn't have my worst moment in mind, but now I think. Yeah, from what I said, I think I've tried to now actually lock my mind and see. So I think let me just start with the worst moment. Okay, not really worst, but the most difficult moment. Yeah, I think my difficult moment I believe is around being acting as a director. I didn't even feel it. I think most of my things that I find difficult, I don't feel it in the moment. When I have passed, I'm like, wait, you mean those are the things I used to deal with? And then I'm like, why? Yeah, just like my time in missions in Ghana, I never felt it until I came back. I was like, what? You repeating the word? Yeah. So even me as an acting director, that time you see how massive is AP and I'm also ACB. So I have to serve as ACB, serve as AP, serve as a friend. You see, and those, sometimes the interests don't match. The AP interest don't match with the ACB interest or doesn't match the friendship interest. So I think that's the time I dealt with most difficult things, even dealing with maybe things at the lab center. You find maybe something happened.
Actually, not give alone, Mark.
I remember me that time.
Yeah, that time, we used to be here maybe like 10, 15 people, and something happened. Then there is need for people to come together. Sometimes there's a boys and girls problem. Yeah, so you have to sit down. So there's a lot of things. I think this one, okay. It was now in this case it was a lady. Yeah, you see, and now I had to serve as a friend, serve as a wisdom. You know, wisdom is friendship sometimes not much. If you talk wisdom, you look like you're not a friend. Yeah, and I had to call CD. I was saying, CD, hey, listen, I don't really, honestly, I like calling things and move them, but this one I was like, this is how I say in my mind, like how I'm feeling about it. Not really what I want to do, but I was like, this is really how I'm feeling about this. Yeah, so that was my most difficult moment. Yeah. Then, best moment, I think I would, it's not one specific thing, but I'll call it the growth that I've had in this life. I've had transforming things, like, for example, I think camps. There's a camp in 2023 that we went to, and I went intentionally saying, this camp I'm going to leave this camp. Like, you know, I'm not going to attend the camp. I'm going to leave the camp, like, leave everything that is happening. I'm going to make sure that I'm doing it outside, like, from me. Yeah, and I think that camp really changed my personality, because the things I did during those 3 days, it became part of me. It was so like I was trying to do it. Yeah, so I'd say camps has been my best moments in this. Yeah.
Wow, nice. Yes.
I think I also just start I also just start with the most difficult moments. And I think mine was planning with X 2023. Like it was it was kind of tough. I had a lot of plans. I had a lot of hyping. Yes, I've done all the things, but then now finances kidogo iliniramba hapo hivyo in 23, because like I had never planned another new thing, so it was the first that I was planning, and it was impromptu that okay, we need this and this much before the event, and then yeah, I'm trying to do everything. I don't know where I can get the money. Like, I've never been in this position before, but then I have to hold it together. My committee is you feel the pressure that people are working with, is you also feel the pressure. Plus I also don't love really passing the burden to other people, so I was also not really updating the other directors, I'm a CD and everyone. So I'm only passing everything that is happening well and absorbing all the pressure with everything that is happening. And I think it was during my exam period here. So I was also just really holding everything, and it really went even to the day meal break. In the morning, you still don't have about 20,000. people are already gathered in archives. People go home, you feel like, hey. And then when you also at home, nobody knows I'm doing anything, I'm planning anything. I'm just living like any other Saturday that I usually do for events. So it's me holding everything together. Yeah, and then I think that Saturday morning, Sunday, my policy didn't feel like, but then we have a problem.
The morning of the event is when you call him.
Yeah, so I'm trying to negotiate with them because I had already planned, especially on the sales, that because I usually like to cover everything by myself. So I've already figured myself okay, so I've already printed this much t-shirt. This is my money by the way. I'm betting on it. So I've already printed this much t-shirts. If I say it was now on order. So if I say I'll have this much, I'll pay. We'll have so I actually to call the person, the contact person from the church. I'm like, okay, I can get this much by now. So you can just allow people to get in, and then before the event even gets to happen, because now people are already ordered for the t-shirts. So by the time I get there, people will pay back the t-shirts, and then I'll give you the money. So the guy is like, I'll only give the order for the church to be open once I have the 20,000. So I'm between a rock and a let's see. Nico, very. When people are calling me about it, I'm very excited. But then after I'm really trying to have everything in plan, and I think that's what helped me plan the 24 with so much, like very detailed during the planning period, so that especially on the finances, so that you don't really burden anyone. But then we had a record attendance by then. I think 110 people. It was the largest staff event before TK Kapuja.
Something.
Like TK hit 112, so it became the record, and then Sunday Baker regained its place. So that was the most difficult moment, and then the best moments, I'd say, goes back to the feedback, like the impact that you've left in people's lives. I usually look at it, unakaa chini, and then it's just like a normal day, and then people are calling you from school like, we're having an academic day, we just called through, and then they're updating you on their lives, and they're like, hey, when did I become this important to this person's life? I'm saying, and actually, and then they're like, oh, but they're hi, we're going to school, thank you for the fellowships that you've had during the holiday, thank you for the talks, thank you for this, thank you for this, and then I'm like, I was just doing it, like, so the impact that you live in people's lives, I think that has been my best moment in town. Even to date, now that I'm still not a director and I'm having people still calling from school and like, okay, we know you're not a director, but then we just work. I think even on my birthday, what was the kwa staff man, happy birthday, I'm like, hey. Yeah, I think that has been my best
Oh, nice. Now, with a yes or no? Yes, a yes or no. Did you give your all as a leader? Yes or no? Nothing more. Nothing more. Call it.
Yes or no?
ground.
Nah.
Absolute.
Yes or no?
Did you give your all as a leader?
I give my all.
No, it's your all.
Evidence for karatasi.
Sasa zingine unasoma
Okay,
na
Mark.
No.
Vincent.
Can say no.
Yes.
For me, I think I'd say yes.
Kutafuta 20k in minutes alafu useme no. Okay, so what would be your advice to someone who wants to join TAF or has recently joined TAF? Yeah, let's start with yours.
Yeah, for me, I'd say, and this is something that I've actually been thinking about. I was looking at it when I was writing the first book. Yeah, I was writing the first book and I was like, okay, if I remove stuff from my, like let's say Regan never told me about stuff, like how would my life have like I've been making it was and like how university life was, how would I say, what would my circle look like? Yeah, and I think it would be very, very different. I'd be a very different person. I don't know what. Actually, I remember the last moments we were having in high school. Hey, we were joking pale class, and some of my classmates were like, "Hey, you're just very saved here in high school. We don't know what you should do at home." But then it was just I was very innocent, not a choice and this and I'm choosing to be this, and people are like, we want to see you in the years that you take in campus. But now I'm glad like I met TAF and I had a good circle. So like for me, the advice I give anyone who's new in TAF and or anyone who wants to join TAF especially, like no one has the same experience. Because like let's say nobody will have it the way I had it. Nobody will be a president, for example, and maybe have the same executive committee that I had. Nobody will serve the new break and have the same members that I had. So they won't have my experience. And literally almost everyone who joins a space, they have joined for a reason. So like let's say being at work under a PMC story again and someone is like, sheesh. You people are going to Ghana, let me join. And he's joining for that experience and maybe that's not what he gets. Atapatana, mimi nimpige banta and like, how do I talk about panga? So like people usually, everyone joins with an expectation, but then people need to understand that, okay, why am I joining this space? Why am I joining this community? And then once your why is strong, because obviously challenges come like where people are there, lazima utavunja roho kiasi. Some people want to be nice to you the way you expect from a Christian community. But then once you've understood why you are in that space and what you're gaining from that space, you can choose if such will affect you or you'll only be serving in the moments like being in those spaces during the emotional highs when things are not going well, you leave. So once your why is strong, you'll find it well and you.
Yeah, so for me what I can say is for somebody to enjoy things Aloud to the fullest of what God has planned for them, get yourself people or a person who don't just be this Aloud and it's just somewhere you go and then you come out. You go and you come out. So me I can say the only reason I've become maybe what I am now in Teens Aloud or personally what Teens Aloud has given me is because there was maybe one person in the state of say how I told you see this with who made me thought, oh, you can be the head. It's really so Collins and say you can be a president. So finding, and you see even how Collins said that he was doing some things to make sure that he doesn't disappoint Miss Wendy. So if you find that person, and just try, just come in. You will always find. If you like dancing, you'll find that creative director calling you. Come for
There are
class.
some of us who know how to dance.
Yeah. Then you'll go for one day for fellowship, then somebody says, oh, you have a nice voice. Then the president says, oh, please be coming for this. Check that very personal. The more you be coming for this, the more you'll be gaining. As much as you'll be giving, you'll be gaining something, and your growth is going to be constant. Yeah, I can say, for example, the creative director, Stanley didn't come as a very good dancer. You were actually, I was that day, I told you I was the one to be allowed to do director.
Wow.
Yeah, but Stanley has grown nowadays. We see him doing things we can't even imagine because he plugged himself. Yeah, so I think plugging yourself to the thing that pushing you to like things you like. You find Sean has an instrument, you like it. Shika Sean bana. Bana Sean bana kitokea uko na yeye. Sean uko wapi leo? Come to. Then as time goes, you find yourself growing in different stuff. So just plug yourself.
I think could just add on his point, people need to be intentional about forming friendships even in that space. Like I think at some point in a layer, you see, let's say, how these people wanna banter each other, the vibe that they have around themselves, and you're like, I want also want something like that. But then if you like that vibe and these people don't know and you've not allowed yourself to be around them, like you've enclosed yourself, you can be in that such a vibe place, and by the time you're leaving, nobody, like, as much as someone may be very intentional about reaching out to the new people and making everyone feel the space and feel seen, and even with the welcome song, appreciating new members, if you're not intentional with being with people, like, I know sometimes it can be hard, but then you can find yourself that you are happy once you are around people, but the moment you disconnect, and with how you can be happy here and then you disconnect and you just speak your problems at the door and you back to like nobody cares, you don't feel that love that's really tough as you push it.
Yeah. I think one thing I would advise someone who's just recently doing stuff or is a new member is, let's say, take up leadership position as much as possible. I mean, it will teach you so many things, and those lessons are very valuable. Let me tell you, for most of us here, I think it's probably Vincent and Collins. I think for me and Diaz, who've organized like events, it really teaches you something. It really teaches you something, especially when it comes down to being efficient and your productivity. It teaches you a lot because you see, when I did my first event, there was so much hiccups. There was a time where Sidi was like, hey, Sidi, how come you did this, you did that? And I made a lot of mistakes here. But when I arranged the second event, hey, I was the kind of things that I'd already made sure. I remember I sent the financial report to Vincent, I think 2 days later. I was like, this has been sent, it's such a good time being with me. And it's because from all those mistakes I've learned. And even being a leader, I've managed to learn things such as conflict resolution. And you will definitely see a lot of arguments, especially if you're a leader. You see the behind the scenes. There's the image that is created to draw people in, but then now you come to see all the effort that is needed and is done to maintain that image. So now you're kind of like, okay, why did this person do this? Why did this person do that? And you kind of like learn to how to handle these conflicts at a much better level, with a much calm, cool head. Si ati ile kila time kama unakasirishwa na huyu, how comes pia ni leader, mbona unafanya hivi nini, unasikia tu basi tuchukuane kama ni hivyo. Just Yeah, so it really opens up your mind to so much things that you learn. So that even when you are doing things outside here, like right now, I started a business sometime this year in January, and I'm starting a startup sometime before I'm hoping before the year ends. And one thing I've come to learn is when you're handling people, unaweza pata unse you probably had a meeting with someone at this particular time, hakuji, hajibu simu, you're like so if you've not gone through these things, in the space where you have been with stuff, because it creates that platform. I would have been like, mbona ulipotea, mbona ulifanya hivi, but because of what I've experienced with teams a lot, it's kind of given me the awareness and the wisdom to be like, okay, maybe there's something that happened that hakuweza kujua ni meeting unacheki, because the old me would have been like, hey, tuna arrange, mbona toka enda home. Yeah, but now with all that, it's teaching me so much. And second of all, do your best to do your quiet time. That is the second thing. When you learn to do your quiet time, even if majorly me, I also advocate for sharing, but even if you don't share, basically building that discipline is something most churches don't do out here in Kenya. They don't really follow up to see if you've done your quiet time. But in Teams Aloud, you find someone. For me, I had Vincent who was always following up on me. And to some extent, I was like, "Kuja man, sumbua bana, hi, kila time quiet time, bana, kwani haujali vile nimeishi, vile niko kani nimekula." And honestly, from the discipline that from that discipline I wanted to do my quiet time, it's kind of like my relationship with God kind of like grew to a new level, because I've gone through so many seasons with God in Teams Aloud that if I would have been outside of Teams Aloud. So that is the thing. Make sure you take up leadership positions to your quiet time.
And it's important to mention that these skills can never be taken away from you. Like once you leave the leadership positions, once you are, let's say, 50, something that you learned in your 20, and then it's important to see that we have this time, we have this community that you can make mistakes.
Yeah.
Like you can plan that and make mistakes and learn in the process.
Yeah.
Compared to now when you're starting your company and let's say a lot of money is at stake.
Yeah.
Once you make a loss at this, compared to someone who made a loss at planning a love fellowship and only one person showed up because they didn't really push it well. Like you learn from a mistake where you're allowed to fail.
Yeah.
And like compared to because at the end of it, while you're graduating after your 4 years in the same level another person, but then you pick something in your high school university.
Yeah. Something beyond the books.
Let me just add something. Yeah. I think it's something Diaz talked about during his send-off. Yeah, so I think I've seen it firsthand, because now in engineering you don't have a lot of presentation. Yeah, but for them, I think they do have sometimes to present and talk themselves out to you. Yeah, so I think we had some presentations during our attachments, and I've seen like how easy it's like, okay, I know naturally I've been somebody who has done speaking, but I see the effects of things Aloud anytime I stand up. I have zero. Like it's like these people, I'm like, bro, like you guys here with me. Yeah, like what do we go wengi to win down there. Because I don't see pressure. Like my mind, you're not really like me person, but then my body and my mind may go a lot of under some pressure before. How do you say things are
Just another joke.
Yeah, just like when you do maybe some 5 push-ups leo, or sometimes utakuwa nataka 10, 5 haikai kitu. So there's things a lot gives you that platform. And whenever you, even some impromptu, when you can just have something. I think last Thursday, something that happened, I was presenting, I didn't have something to give example with. I just took the paper and I did that with that paper, and I just saw like everybody smiling because they didn't expect. Like there's nobody expected such a expect because I didn't think I would need such an example because things allowed us to make it hard. So as Mark has said, check these things out. It will build you a big.
Yeah, Collins.
Yeah, my first advice would be put yourself out there because I look back to why Miss Wendy chose me because like as I said, I was 3-4 months into the fellowship and I'm like, why? Like how did I stand out? Like
What I do.
what I do? Like, I'm about 25, 30, maybe around 20-ish people in the fellowship. Like why will I, you know? Yeah, and come to think of it, I remember during like any session, like be it Bible study, be it activities, I would want to be involved. In one way or another, yes, I'm having fun, but I want to be involved. Like whatever the game is, okay, I'm volunteering. It's fun for me. Like I'm putting myself. I get it.
I never used even to act.
Yeah, even we used to act. Yeah, and I think even the acting.
Oh,
actually, yeah. And even that day I acted, even the same was like, she posted me later on and said actor of the night.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow. Yeah, I didn't expect it, but it was all about putting yourself, like, just put yourself out there because all of us are able differently. You get it? Yeah, and maybe perhaps me, I feel lost in dancing, but yeah, but maybe in terms of maybe acting or anything, yeah, I will excel in that field. You get it? So I believe everybody has a purpose. You get it? And you need to find your purpose, and you need to find your place. Yeah, because like we all would like. We can't all be presidents, yes, but even if you're entrusted with Aloud Creative rep or the I rep or Vista rep, yeah, like the small position because I don't believe that any position is small. You need to, you're the one who will give power to that position that you have, and you get it. You give power to, and it will be as small as you want it to be, and it will also be as big as you want it to be.
True.
Yeah, so find your purpose, find your place. Because staff has a lot of places that you can be. A lot of different abilities that you can involve yourself.
Actually, that's what I'm saying. What's going to say that there are a lot. Example can say, okay, if I am working on me, I never knew there was something like nobody knew. Like you see, but because CD thought he wanted somebody to fit there, look and so you, whatever you have, it's about coming for fellowship. Come for fellowship, enjoy yourself. It is going for, there's other meetings aside from fellowship. Come, be part of it. I think there are many people who went for that executive retreat who, from that day, is when they became leaders.
Yeah.
Like they came here not being leaders, they came there not being leaders. So you just, things will, okay, our God knows we are all young people. We all don't know what we are going to do. We are all just working and seeing, what's next tomorrow?
Yeah.
So our work is just, if people are doing something, come out. Just come out. Things will just align. You're like, I didn't think this will happen.
Yeah.
But because you are doing what everyone is doing, you got your place. So just show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, it was last 5. Yeah. So, would you say that TAF has made you a better person, friend, or brother? In all aspects. Yes.
Yeah, I think when Mark was speaking about what you can learn, it's something that I have really grown in. The human relations, the people, I've really tried to now see people behind what they're showing me. Like, beyond the masks, like, who are you? And TAF has provided that for me, and especially with the large pool of people. Like, honestly, even as I was coming here, I was looking at like just sitting in the bus and I'm just looking at someone and yeah, so like you're looking at this person and then like what is this person thinking? Are they going through a lot? Like you try to now put yourself. I think that's the one biggest lesson I've learned, putting myself in people's shoes. Yeah, like previously, honestly, even if we talk when like being a son, like sometimes it doesn't later issue, but then I have been in handling parents and I understand that why they are saying that, like why are they insecure about letting their child go. No, like you can understand that, oh, maybe they don't even know, first of all, maybe what TAF is. And then like once you bring them to the understanding of what TAF is, what the event is about, when the child come back, they're very glad to hand their children to you. And then sometimes even like handling our own parents, I think it's an issue I experience a lot serving, especially with the young people, the graduates in the high school, and the parent just doesn't want people because they don't have an idea. But then I think it's actually the reason I prepared. Last year we had a magazine that explained everything about New Breed in one page, and then we also had like contact if you want to know more or anything, just reach out to the numbers here. And parents were calling, and once you explain, they just let the children come. So like I've learned to understand people's point of view, and I've learned to relate better with people, putting myself in their shoes. And actually, I've become a better person. The man gone was really like, okay, will I really be who I am today without what stuff built in me? No. And actually, it was the whole Nini that inspired my writing. Maybe today, I wouldn't have all that knowledge without, let's say, being in that space and dealing with such many people. And I think just by dealing with people, I've really grown in and learned to appreciate the other person's space and what they're going through. And like just dealing with people, I've really grown a lot in that.
Yeah, absolutely. I can say things around has made me a better person. I think sometimes I still look and say, what are the areas I can maximize to make me become a better person through things Aloud. But the leadership, Mark talked about conflict. Okay, sometimes I'm more, it's strong, but I'm more pessimistic. Like, okay, I've learned conflict, you don't say they're happy, but wait, no, these things are really important. How you deal with, you see, how you deal with the people outside, in the outside, is just how things have wired you in your inner spaces. For example, when I would talk about attachment, because that's where I've met. After high school, that's where, in a long time, that's where I've met. Like you just go in quickly, like you have to. When I speak to you, like in most people, you don't know anyone. It's you need to know each other from scratch. You get. So there, because things are not met. Uko shule, lakini uko najua Friday uko na things allowed. So I'll feel like you are far away from. And I realized how I'm dealing with people there, how I'm speaking with them, how I'm making moments light. It's not like this thing. This thing is just thing, and subconsciously I've learned to things around, but I didn't even think stuff. Kama conflict resolution, pero watu watapigana ni kuja and actually kupigana. See, it will happen in those certain moments when you can look around and say, everyone else doesn't notice. But you're like, wait, and then you tone down stuff. Yeah. I would say it's a very good.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I think for me, TAF has taught me to be shameless. Let me tell you, things Aloud has taught me. You try things out. If it goes wrong, if it goes well, yeah, good for you.
At least you know how.
At least I know how to. I remember there was this time I went for a public speaking competition, and I was going there to cheer for someone else. And they were like, "Oh no, you can't come and cheer for someone else."
Someone?
Yeah. And they're like, you can't really come without participating. Basically, it's a place where you have to basically give an input to that particular event, yeah. So I was like, okay, and Mikey, I don't even know, I didn't come for that. So I did that and I managed the best new speaker. I've started that day, I've emerged the best.
No preparation.
No preparation, no nothing. And they were like, I was number 4. But the top 3 guys were like guys who had studied this thing. They were in their 3rd year, 4th year. And they had started this thing since their 1st year or even high school. Yeah, but when they totaled up all the new people who had come, so even those top 3 guys were like, wait, when they get to Leo, like like another Leo, and they're like, wow, okay, yeah, that's
giving the natural intelligence for us.
yeah. So I and honestly, that kind of confidence came from that because I was a very shy person, even in high school. I was up until I think out of all of us, we can just say that we all started out as introverts. And then by the time you're in your 2 months, 3, 4 months, a year in town, like wait, when did I become an extrovert? Because you find you're talking to people in such a way that they're like, hey, okay, you're calling someone, wewe vile ulikuwa unaitwa, sasa wewe ndio unaitana. So uko like, hey, let's give it up for Sean. You're the one up for, I think even from the videos of the one in Love Center, just there, normally I would just be chill. Then you find me up in this place, someone
dancing.
And I think, yeah, TAF has made me generally someone who's just being shameless. Not to look at what do I have right now, but just to like, okay, let's just do this thing. And through that, I've gotten so many opportunities, not only in public speaking, but even in my 2nd year when I had an attachment. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't know the languages, I didn't know the programming skills that I needed to have, but I just said I'll go. And I did it, and I was like, I was the product lead for 3 out of 5 projects that we were given. So the first 2 nilikuwa more like I was being supervised, and after that, so like, okay, we can give Mark like 3 projects at the same time to lead. So now that was a big stepping stone for me, and that was only because of that. Honestly, sometimes you just sit down and you're like, okay, if I wouldn't have met these people, would my life have been more peaceful? Probably. But would I have come out of my comfort zone? No. And things Aloud pushed me out of my comfort zone and made me where I am right now. Yeah.
He has talked about would my life be more peaceful. And he's bringing me back to a comparison which I was making. And it's a comparison between my 18th birthday and my 19th birthday. No, my 19th.
And 20.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm like, I paid you first. Yeah, and I think in the 19th birthday was one of my. Ukiona ile birthday hadi inapita hadi mzazi hata ajui like nobody, not even a single wish from a single person. You get it? And I remember how I felt at that time. You get it? And fast forward just 1 year later, after I knew about stuff and how it just changed. You get it? From 0 to a good amount of wishes. And every year it has been piling yeah. Yeah. And I think first of all, it made me who I am. Like me personally, as many of these people have said, that I was not someone who was talkative. I was someone who was kujinyamazia too, like someone who would want to be in the corner, not seen, not. Yeah, I always give a story about how I came to town. I won't say that bit, but yeah. But the first impression that I had of entering, even I was added in the main group of Guerrilla Fellowship, and I was like, I was even telling the lady who was in me, like Jean, I was telling her, please, this welcome Collins, we love you. Please, delete it. Delete it. No, please, keep quiet. Yeah, because I think I saw her typing, and I'm like, no, delete it. Me, please, be quiet. I'm just here to, come, sit in the corner. In my mind, trap was such a big place where I can just come and blend, and nobody will ever know that there's someone like me. And it made me grow as a person in terms of confidence. Because me, even the first time I became MC, Hilda forced me to be MC week in, week out. Week in, week one ananiambia, we were like, next time. Remember next time unajua
kuna some good time in between.
Kuna good time. Until the following week. Namwambia, for real? No, next time. Hadi ilibidi, Hilda had to bribe me with a soda, of which until then, I'm still using for the soda, honestly, Hilda, if you want to yeah, but even if I never got the soda, I got something more skills rich, more than I ever wanted, you get it. I increased in confidence, I increased in how I relate to people. Like 90% of my friends are tough people, you get it. And I found them in tough. Even these people just sitting here, are a few of them, and there are a few of my close friends, you get it. Yes, I'm someone who has, a lot of different friends, even out here, but 90% or more of the people who are close to me are in tough, you get it. And also in terms of leadership, working with people, knowing people, understanding people, that is not it's not our heaven, you get it. Like, it's not a perfect place, and no place is a perfect place. You find people with different raisings, different upbringings, mindsets, different, behaviors, different thinking, you learn a lot by knowing how to deal with people, knowing how to relate with people, the people who you can banter a lot, the people who you have to limit what you banter, the people who you don't banter at all. I get the people who can handle it all. But you learn how to.
And the others who are being trained to handle it.
And I think all of these things, like the person who I was first year and who I am right now, two different people.
Nice. Now, so in one word, what do you think TAF will look like in the next 10 years? Yeah, let's start with you, Collins.
One word. Inclusive.
Wow. Okay, I think mine would be growth. Wow. Vincent?
Big thing.
Yes.
I did it intentionally.
Community.
Wow, nice. Now, so, which was your favorite TAF event? Yeah. What's your favorite TAF event? Yes. Which year?
I think all new breeds just stand out. And then 24 was a blast.
Yeah, Vincent. You can say more than one.
Oh, For me, I would say one camps, Freshers camp, both 24 and 23. Yeah. And then New Breed, I think I'll put New Breed there, but I expected. So you see when you play something, yeah, it doesn't hit you that much, but it was one of the best.
The biggest that you like.
And finally, I don't know which mission to put, but Missions to Eldoret. Yeah, Missions to Eldoret.
Mine, I'll say Freshers Worship Camp 2024. That was a really good one. I loved how we all had our own room. That place was the then Missions to Eldoret. That was my first time going to Eldoret. It was crazy. And also Missions to Marsabit.
Samburu. Wow.
Samburu was good. Like tulienda huko tukachoma na jua. I was adventurous. I remember naposting hii time tulikuwa tunaimba na Vin kutoka buti ya gari. Let it flow. It was such an amazing time. Yeah. So all the
kwenda kwa kuja recruitment.
So those two local missions, so Samburu and Eldoret, they were both good. Like when it came down to how we were taught and the things we learned. But they are for Marsabit, Samburu.
It was Marsabit before we changed Samburu.
Yeah. So for Samburu, we got Nambia, we'll have a 2-bedroom house. Woo! Ni two bedroom, but ilikuwa tumanyata za mabati.
It was a two house
home. Compound. It was a compound sasa with the two like manyatas which were made out of metal. So ukiingia hapo ndani usiku ni fridge, and ukiwa hapo asubuhi ni microwave.
And when you step in, once you step in, ni kushaingia kwa bed.
So it was just
we were many.
The guys were more compared to the ladies. But we were like 8 guys, with about two mattresses, and then the ladies walikuwa na about 4 ladies there. In a charity, Mercy, and other people, the two missionaries. So it was really, those were the two events. And then Freshers Worship Camp 2024. I think all camps were just amazing. Because over there you get a real impact, especially serving under the eye that time. We had this prayer marathon in the evening. It was so lit. We could not even believe that timing. I think to the Gonga 3 hours. 3 hours. It was more than 3 hours, Because we started around 8 and Kamaliza around 2. And 2 or 3 a.m. And by that time there was like this place where these two best friends walikuwa wamekosana, and got to act in his own unique way, and he brought both of them together, and it was just like, hey, it was just amazing. I miss because I didn't believe we could play for like, I don't know how long that time was,
and by ending it was not just mechoka.
People were like no, like tunaweza endelea, but like no, you have to see. Because actually I remember we were standing, and my memory of it, I don't feel as if I was tired. I think quite close to the door there, everyone was standing, nobody was even sitting down like they're tired. People were all attentive.
That was the thing. It was really, God was really working through those events.
On that note, Freshers Ship Camp is coming in September. You don't want to miss that.
So it will be bigger than the one in 2024.
That will be the next. Your biggest strategy.
Before New Breed.
Yes, for those 3 months, 4 months.
Collins.
For me, I'll start with the first camp that I joined. It was in deck. It was 221 deck. It was just here in Kawaskari. I think that being my first a tough event.
You also have watched it.
Find that time.
Once you were holding sugar cane. I have
Please. Any photo you see is AI generated. So AI is really powerful, guys. Yeah, so that one, 2022, Dr. Talk. Yeah, because Pastor KK, Reverend KK right now. Yeah, but that time it was Pastor KK and the wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in Kenya, so it was a big thing. Yeah, I remember I was even part of, the planning committee.
That's actually how we met.
Yeah, and yes, of course, FWC camps, all camps are amazing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
all camps are amazing. Yeah, but FWC 24 it was just amazing, and personally, I enjoyed it. Personally, I was part of a iconic Come Alive.
I have only 2 words. I'm crazy.
Everything around it was, amazing. And I think our first ever TK in Kenya.
And 10, 11, 14.
I think it was the first event. 100 people came.
No, it was after this.
You became like 110.
No.
I was really.
But I think more of I think the reason why police is feeling like it was the first because the first one was graduates,
Yeah.
but now this one had tough people.
Oh, yeah.
So really class and the one, yeah.
And even the space, the way it was, unaona tu like Nika too, it was like some unaonanga vile hao wase wakiendanga concert, it feel like that way.
Yeah.
You watu huko mbele hauwezi ona.
Akaka nilikuwa naona yeye But what Maggie saying, like honestly, that event felt so. I saw people out of their mask. I remember I turned on my left. Bunyore who are dancing on my left here. I'm like, Machakos were dancing, and somebody never thought to dance. And that was it.
Great. So due to time, let's do the last 2 questions. Then we close it up, right?
Yeah.
So which events are you looking forward to before the year ends? Yes.
Let's say, first of all, FWC. Camps usually just have their own energy.
Yeah.
And then also New Green. Yeah, I'm looking at it, helping the person planning it, so that by the time, like planning it with the person who is planning it, so that by the time it's fully on them to do it, they understand everything, and it's not like we are having a gap because it's another person. Yeah, so I'm really excited for this year as well.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, for me, honestly, I'm very excited about New Week because I know it's going to build the next people. And then number 2, freshers should come. It's what plugs people into. I remember when people came, like Amani, Diana, they got that to stay. The freshers who come there find it easy to stay because they understand other things. Ingine ningesema lakini hata hakuna mtu anajua inakuja. Lakini hata anyway.
I think you got Yeah, I think the one that Vincent wants to talk about is, I think, Peniel Prayer Conference. Yeah, so Peniel is coming up in September. The date is yet to be confirmed. It will be in Sitam Valley Road. We are still making preparations over it, communicating with the guys over there. But that's a new event. It's just basically for praying over the nation. It's a prayer event. So for me personally, I'm in the eye. So me naongelea tu zile zangu. I saw you there one day. So there's Peniel, and there's Palooza 2025.
Wow. Yeah,
Which
yeah,
will
yeah.
be in Eldoret.
Yeah.
That whole space, I'm just thinking about the numbers. I feel very confident when it comes down to the numbers in Eldoret. I didn't get up a camera, I feel like it could be 100 and more. So yeah, but I really want to grab as many people around Nairobi so that we head that way together. But Palooza 2025 is coming. We'll be in Eldoret. It will be powerful. I think most Paloozas, especially the one we did in Machakos was powerful. The one we did in JPOT was also powerful, but we didn't pray as much. And I think this one that is coming for 2025, we want to focus on that prayer aspect where we're just praying, opening our hearts out to God. And prayer is really amazing when you just remove that aspect, because I need that. I think, oh, it's boring, it's meaning. Nah, it is allowed. Prayer is not boring. Prayer is the engine in everything. Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I'll start with the iconic event, which is the Megala Fellowship for the service that is holding 10 years in Camp Kenya, 20 global. Yeah, it's a celebration, and there's a lot that we are planning. So please, if you're planning to meet Megala Fellowship,
You are missing.
You're already missing out by planning.
yeah. Of course, the camp, FWC. Yeah, 25. Yeah. I think it's usually in a good time because we're just beginning. The semester. It's usually a good time because you're not really, so much into the semester. Yeah, and also maybe it's not technically a tough event, but DramaCon, which is a sit-down event, yes, we get to participate in it. We win. Last time we were second place.
You were number two. That's how much power we have.
In acting, we are number 2. Yeah, and then this time round.
Not only the other participate, but all of us were.
All of us were.
You may see me there.
Like an extra.
I think the guy was called Jabali.
Jabali. Jabali was there.
Was there, but
Jabali.
kulikuwa na Jabali Masi.
Yeah, so if you're floating, participate in DramaCon. Yeah, there'll be an act definitely, and there'll be dance.
Yeah, so dancing is where some.
Yeah, so it will be somewhere around August. Yeah. It's usually around there, late August.
And actually, on top of that, other people is also doing something crazy.
Oh yeah.
So if you can act, make yourself crazy. Make yourself in 3 minutes. You can be crazy, non-challenge, intelligent, mysterious. Yeah, you can. Or if you are planning to make yourself that.
Challenge yourself. Yeah.
So, okay, nice. Now, on to the last question. Yeah. So, 5 words to describe your experience in town. Number 1, heartbreaking. Number 2, challenging. Number 3, encouraging. Number 4, upskilling. Yeah, because I learned a lot. And number 5, I think I'd say, what can I say? Iconic. It's very crazy, but things allow people to celebrate in a manner wazazi wako huku nadhani there's a certain cameraman hapa alikuwa anaitwa Aloud fellowship, kumbe anadhani anakatiwa. Aloud fellowship anadhani ni kukatiwa na katiwa au nini?
Nitakuja na washani.
Kumbe ikifika ndio kumbe ni hivyo, kila mtu ana
Kumbe ni fellowship.
Yeah, kila mtu anakuwa love.
The name right is Jingo.
Jingo. So, call it.
Entertaining. Yeah. Loving, like I felt the love in Taf, and I'm still continuing feeling the love in Taf. Educative in God's word, in me as a person. I'm going to say this word, iconic. Yeah, I made iconic moments, iconic friendships, iconic memories in Taf, and memorable. Like every single step of the way has been a journey and an amazing time in Taf. yeah, every step, every challenge, yeah, has only created memories. Yeah.
Nice. Gives.
Yeah, so I think I'll start also by staying memorable because I think I'll just summarize it in memorable because I feel every moment we have has been one to learn, one to build friendships, one to there's always something memorable. That even the fact that we've just met here today, we have already created a lot of memories. We've talked about topics, even before we started recording, the moment alone was, yeah, so I'll say my moments in Calf have been happy and memorable.
Vincent? Yeah, for me, this is what I can say. It's a chance for anyone in Things Aloud, anyone who is joining or even watching this don't know Things Aloud. Things Aloud is a place you get shaping. Yeah, you get shaping things that will happen for you or you find yourself engaging in, will be shaping. And I think that's what I can say.
Nice. So now point to the camera and say, I saw you there.